Hi, this is Bates, and I want to show you a little bit how we work on Autotask. So Autotask is purchased by DATTO. So there is DATTO PSA, which is this service portal over here. And if we go with the mouse over and click on the DATTO RMM, it goes to the DATTO RMM, which is where we connect remotely to our clients' computers. Those are all the sites where clients have computers with the monitoring agent, the DATTO RMM agent installed on them. We're going to talk about that on a different video. For now, we need to understand how tickets actually come into our computers. So clients are sent to this website, click-911.com, which translates to secure. Our domain name. You can also get to this site by going to our actual website, legaltechnology.solutions, and click here on the support portal. It's taking us to the same page. Over here, we have an option to join session, which is what we use when we connect to computers where the client does not have the monitoring agent on. We'll talk about that as well. We use a program called ISL, and we have a chat support also from ISL. This is something we're going to talk about on a different video as well. But our clients are asked to create a ticket by coming to this website and clicking on create a ticket over here. So when they click on that, they're being asked for their contact information, the urgency level, and when they choose this one, if the whole company is down, immediately call our office number, ticket title, describe the issue, and how would they like to be contacted. Only if they choose that they agree to the terms of service agreement, they can submit the ticket. Another way for clients that are on a monthly plan and do have the monitoring agent on their computer, they can click here on that DATTO icon here. Double clicking on it will open the window, and it will show them their computer name. So if somebody is calling us for tech support, or if they created a ticket using this form, we need to connect remotely to their computer. They might not know the computer name, so we tell them to double click on the blue D letter on the taskbar, or of course any other way that they need to figure out what their computer name is. So double clicking here, they can go to tickets and they can see any ticket that is open and associated with this specific device that they're on, or they can create a new ticket from here. Summary, more information, urgency, who is impacted, their information over here. They can upload a file and submit the ticket. Another cool thing that they can do is right click on this icon, one click on it, and take a screenshot and request support. So when they do that, that screenshot is over here as well. That only works for the main monitor that they have. If they have multiple monitors like I do here, that won't work, unfortunately. It will only capture the one monitor. People like to use this because it is allowing them to enter less information, and all they have to do is fill in these boxes, the slides over here, and maybe upload a screenshot. But other than that, it actually helps us a lot, because when they submit a ticket from here, DATTO is going to take a lot of the information from the logs and upload it to our ticketing system. So when we open the ticket, we'll see how that looks like. Another way for clients to create a ticket is to send us an email to support@legaltechnology.solutions. The email will come from the client's email address, obviously, and we'll associate the ticket to the client based on their originating email address. The problem with that is that they usually don't remember to include a lot of important information that we need to ask, like urgency level and what the problem is in more details. So when somebody wants support, we usually tell them to go to click-911.com and start a chat. If it's something that's a quick kind of question, chat is only going to be online if we have one of our engineers running ISL Pronto. So if nobody's running ISL Pronto, it's not going to work. But if I'm going to change my status here to available, which by the way changes automatically to unavailable after you don't touch the computer for 5 minutes, it will put you in unavailable status over here. So now that I'm available, in a few moments, see, now I refresh the page and it shows online. So the client can click up here and it's going to pop up asking them to fill in information. It's memorizing what they already had before. If there is a ticket number, great. They're going to create a chat, and we're going to do a training video on that as well. So once the client submitted a ticket in any of those methods, we're going to see the ticket on DATTO PSA. But there's a couple other things on this site that we encourage clients to use. If they need to add a user or a mailbox for a user, they're going to have to fill in this form. A lot of people just go in here and they get a ticket submitted and they just say, please create a new email account for John Doe. That's all they send. We reply back, closing the ticket, and tell them in order to create a new email account or anything for a new user, please go to click-911 and click on the add user form. On this page, we ask them some more information, a lot more. Do you need us to set up a new email? Yes, and if they do that, more questions, etc. So that is a form that we ask them to fill in because it gives us all the information we need so we don't go back and forth about what's the email signature, what distribution groups you forgot to tell us about. Same thing for the remove user. When somebody's terminating a user, they need to fill in this form. Most of the clients know about that as well. When they require a new computer quote, they go here and terminate a computer. That's self-explanatory, and the rest of them are as well. The unattended agent installation over here allows us to allow the client to install an unattended ISL agent. So it's not an RMM agent that we are paying for and will add monitoring software. This is just a remote support program. We're going to talk about that as well separately. It's the same program we use for the chat. Provide information. This is a button that we choose when we just need a client to send us a quick password or whatever phone number of a vendor. Instead of uploading, creating a ticket, opening the ticketing system and all that, this is not a secured way by all means. It's sending us a text message to our Google Voice account, and we ask the client to just send us the password and tell them we're waiting for that on our end. So don't include your email address and password because it makes it not secured. This is what this is for, and that is the provide information. Next, let's say somebody did create a ticket. Let's close all this over here, and this is our ticketing system. These are the bars over here, the dashboard. That's what shows right now because that's what I choose to show, but every person can customize their own stuff over here. The service manager is a level of a person that's in charge of all the tech, so I can see all the engineers that are currently associated with tickets and all the tickets based on age, etc. You might be able to see only your work, and my tickets are listed over here, the hours, etc. But our day-to-day stuff is going to be by clicking here or going to the main dispatch calendar, which can be mouse over, clicking dispatch calendar here. That brings us to the same screen. And over here, we can see the schedule. We don't use work groups because we're such a small company at this point. Hopefully, this video is going to be obsolete very soon. We're going to have groups, but this is groups of people. Resources are the text over here. So Lucas and me and I are the only two people here, but let's say I wanted to add somebody else. These are some expired text, so we want to look at only the active ones, obviously. Let's say we're going to put Elliot over here. So I added Elliot, just one click on it, save selection. And now Elliot is listed here on the list as well. And his calendar is showing here as well. I'm going to double click on it to remove him. On the screen here as well, today is Saturday, so Lucas is not here. I'm just doing, my calendar is syncing here. So the views over here, those are custom views that I can control in one click who to show and how many days. So right now I'm showing the technical people and 1 day view. I can change it to 5 days view, and it's going to show it this way. This is showing the 5 days of this work week. Because we're on Saturday, it shows us the previous week, but I can go to next week over here and so on. I personally don't like this view because it's a little bit confusing for me, but Lucas, for example, loves this one versus my previous one. These are all Lucas's appointments, and we're going to talk about what the check marks mean. These are mine, and this is the 7. This is +7. That means today and the next 7 days after that. So, excuse me, we are looking at both people for the next 7 days. Now, I can go back to view over here and show Bates one day or show engineer one day. Let's go to engineers one day. That's again Lucas and Bates, and just one day view. That's just a shortcut there. What we do on a regular basis is take a look at this list over here. This list is by default going to be coming with its own filters, but we create our own filters. The most important one, in my opinion, is the needs attention. Those are tickets that need attention, and those are tickets that are either on the new status, meaning nobody replied to them, the client didn't update them, etc., or customer note added. Let me show you real quick. If we edit the current filter, you'll see what's in there. So the source doesn't matter, the item type doesn't matter, the queue name, we're going to talk about the queue as well down the road, but the queue name is client portal, help desk, or service desk. So anything in these three categories. If the status is either new or customer note added, or if it's outsourced, or we need to enter time, that's going to be showing in this list, and nothing else over here. We found this to be a very useful filter, and we can obviously create other ones. For example, Bates all open tickets. If I click on that, it's going to change the view here, and it's going to show me only my tickets, and those are the 15 that I have open right now. Doesn't matter what the status is of the ticket. So I am going to look at needs attention, and it is now 6:20 p.m. So I'm going to go back to here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag a ticket over to my schedule as if I'm going to work on it right now. So I'm basically dispatching my own tickets. And here's how we're going to look at it. For example, this ticket, the first thing I'm going to do is right click on it and view ticket details. The reason why we do it is because it is possible that this ticket is a duplicate, it's possible that it's a test, it's possible that we don't need to drag it and create a service call for it. We're wasting time potentially. So when we open a ticket, when we right click on a ticket and choose view information or view ticket, we are landing on this page. There are different pieces of information over here that we're going to go over. And before we do, I want you to take a brief look at the generic look of what we're looking for. This is a description, obviously. This is the title. If you click over here, it's going to copy it to your clipboard, obviously. Same thing for the ticket number. One thing that we do use is this one with a clip. So if we click on that, it will copy basically this URL. So now that we are chatting with each other and we need to ask a question about ticket 2019-10-12-0020, I don't want to ask you, hey, did you take care of this ticket? Because you're not going to know what that ticket means most likely. And you're going to have to open Autotask and go to the main screen and search for the ticket. The way that I copy it over here will allow you to click on that link. Let's close this for a second. You're going to click on it from Teams or whatever we use, and it's going to open that ticket directly, just like we did right now. So this clipboard is important. Also, one thing that you should notice is as soon as you open a ticket for viewing it or editing it or whatever, the timer starts running right away. You can close it, that's not going to affect anything. You can close the window and the timer is going to go away and reset itself. But let's say I opened this ticket and I started working on it and I forgot for some reason to drag it to my schedule, or I forgot to start tracking time in a different way. What's going to happen is if this is going to come up to, like, let's say 10 minutes or 2 hours or whatever, as soon as I'm going to click here to enter time for this ticket, the time actually starts, it's going to pass on this time over to the charges window. You can see 6:22 and it's already 6:23, and this is going to be updated automatically unless we manually type in anything here. This is going to be calculated automatically also, and this is going to give us opportunity to discount. We're going to talk about the charges as well soon. Next, we are looking, of course, at the information. So subject, who created the ticket. You can see over here the status, the client, the company name. If it's under any specific person in that company, it's going to be listed here. Work type, we'll talk about all this, but the first thing that I'm looking at this point is the history. So scrolling down, I can see that these three system notes were added. That's going to be for every ticket automatically. So it's basically saying that there's a workflow rule that we created with this name, and that workflow rule fired. When the ticket is created and the following conditions are met, it's a new ticket. It's not in any of these queues. Then execute the following action. Send notification email, new ticket creation, blah, 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 to the ticket contact. So we're basically telling Autotask that when the client creates a ticket, send them this email, this notification via email to let them know that a new ticket has been created. The problem that we're seeing here, not problem, sorry, what we see here is that this came from a monitoring alert. This is a failing backup. It came from a monitoring alert most likely. So I'm lying, sorry. This specific ticket was emailed to support at legaltechnology.solutions by DATTO. How I know it is because I know it. I know how it's set up. So there's another workflow rule that says this is an internal notification. So when a ticket is created and the ticket is new, then execute the following action, send an email to info@legaltechnology mailbox. So we're basically getting a copy of a new ticket as well, so we can see it also in our shared mailbox. And this is another rule that we're not going to talk about now, but expect to see those every time a client creates a ticket or an email is sent to support at. So what I'm going to do over here is decide, is this a ticket that I'm going to be able to work on? Should I work on it? Do I need to dispatch it to somebody else? As a technician, I'm going to take this ticket under my shoulders right now. So there's a couple of ways to do it. The easiest way is to close it, go back to here and find that ticket. Doesn't really matter which one it is. We're just playing here. So let's say it's this one. Actually it was this one because this was the client, but I'm going to drag this ticket over here to my 6:30, which is in 5 minutes. I'm going to drag it over here to my side of the calendar. It's going to pop up and ask me, what's your role? I'm wearing a few hats in this company. I do development, sales, marketing, project management, etc. I'm going to choose technical support, which is what most of you guys will choose as well all the time. I'm going to click continue. And it's going to ask me just to confirm, when do you want us to be to start time? 6:30. How long it's going to take? I think it's going to take me only half hour, so 0.5. And if I'm going to click tab over here, do you want to schedule the do you want to notify the scheduled resource, which is me? I'm not going to need to receive an email about that, but let me just check the box just to show you. And if this ticket has been under somebody else's name, do you want to notify them that you're canceling them and you're taking over, or the new person is taking over? We don't check these boxes because we don't need those emails, but I'm going to show you how it looks like. So I'm going to click save and close, and that ticket is now going to show up over here. Something that's a little bit confusing is when you look at those appointments, especially the ones that are set up for a half hour only, you can see the appointment over here, but if you click on the arrow, so this is a service call that contains in it a ticket. So this icon means that it's a ticket. Technically, you can have multiple tickets under the same service call. We don't really use that, but let's say those are all related to the same issue, and obviously they are. It's the same alert. What I would do over here is actually delete those tickets because I know the same thing. They just come back every hour or two because the backup is failing. It's probably the same reason why it's failing. But in this case, let's assume it's not. Let's assume I want to go in and schedule these tickets under the same service call. Think about it this way. If you had to go to a client's office and you have multiple tickets that they created and waited for you to come on site to address, it's technically better to create one service call because you drive one time, but you address multiple tickets on that service call. So we technically also don't use it because it is just causing some confusions with the alerts. So we're not going to go that route. But just to show you real quick, if I would, I'm going to drag this over here anywhere on the calendar. Okay. I'm dragging this and it is telling me that there is an existing service call, existing service calls found for this company. So do you want to add it? Now it's telling me that I can add it to an existing service call that assigned to this resource that I dragged it to right now. And if I click on it, it shows me where it is. Or do I want to assign it to another resource? So let's say Lucas over here had another service call assigned to him for this client also, for this KGK company. So if Lucas had another ticket or another service call, we can add it to Lucas's service call. We tend to miss appointment, or we tend to miss tickets if more than one ticket is assigned to a service call. So we are always going to click on create a new service call. In this case, I want to show you real quick what happens when I add it to this service call. I'm going to click continue. Again, we're not going to do it. It's going to ask us, okay, the service call is 6:30 for half hour. I'm actually going to change it to an hour now. Again, we're never going to use it, but just to show you what happens. Because now we have two tickets, hypothetically, we're going to address two of them. If I'm going to right click over here on the top line, which is the service call, versus this line, which is the ticket, I'm going to right click over here and I'm going to click on edit service call. And you should be able to see, well, see, that's why it's not used. Technically, we should have two service calls over here listed under this, sorry, two tickets listed under this service call. Not sure what I did wrong, but they're both supposed to be here. Let's try again just in case. This and continue. Your role, technical support, and okay. There you go. Now we have two tickets listed over here. So mouse over. If I drag it and make it longer, I can do that also just like on Outlook. I can drag and make it 2.5 hours right now. But the problem is that it's hard to see if you have multiple tickets on one service call. It's a little hard to see which one is which. You have to go here to edit. And from here, you can open the ticket that you want to view what it is. And just a pain in the butt, we don't use that. Okay, so we are, I want to show real quick what I got over here when I scheduled myself with this ticket. I check the box to notify the resource, and here is the resource. The ticket has been reassigned to you. This is telling me that the ticket has been dragged to my schedule, basically, and because it was dragged to my schedule and it was not under any other tech over here, I'm the new resource. It was reassigned to me. Information about the ticket and the content that was in it is right here. There is another email that I got, which is this one. We're going to talk about this in a moment as well. Okay, so we are now scheduled to take care of a service call and one ticket under it, or two in this case. The schedule might look very much like this when you guys fill up your day with alerts, with tickets. It's going to be filling up very fast. I'm going to just throw some stuff in here that I know is not something we have to worry about. I actually took care of that specific issue with DATTO before, so I know this is something that's going to go away. So let's fill in my schedule. Let's say this is normal business hours. So right now I have full morning if it's 6:30 a.m. And what I'm going to do is instead of looking here first, I need to take a look to see what's happening here on the queue. There's 22 tickets in the need attention queue, and that's not good. We are going to start from the oldest one. I'm going to click here to sort by item number. Now the oldest one is up here. I'm going to click again. I like to see the newest ones on the top. And as you can see, by the way, the the ticket numbers will have T for ticket, 2019 is the year, 1009 is the date, and the serial number of it. Obviously, company name, the item name, which is the subject line, what queue it's in. The help desk queue is our main one. We're not going to talk about that at this point. Status of the ticket, priority. This is something that is hard to determine. The client usually try to dictate that, but we are the ones that actually put in the priority based on what we see fit. Due date, it's part of the SLA. We are not using SLAs at this point. We're not going to train on that. Who is the contact of the ticket? If there is a client name that's associated with that, it will be here. These are alerts, obviously. There's no specific user. The alerts come under our name and our client name, basically, Legal Technology Solutions. If it's a scheduled service call, it will show up here, but not on this queue, because this queue only shows you stuff that needs attention, meaning there is no, most likely they're all new, there is no service call scheduled. But if it is, it's going to be a check mark over here. And who is the primary resource? What type of contract? This is also important. All-inclusive contract, hosted server, and we have this one also, executive contract. We'll talk about contract on another video. So I'm looking at this, I'm trying to figure out from the oldest one, what is it that needs attention? And going up the list, it might be that this is the oldest one, but there is something much urgent that came in 5 minutes ago. So we look at that on a constant basis and drag everything to our schedule. So the more tickets we drag to our schedule, the cleaner the queue is going to be, and we all know what we need to do. So back on the schedule here, right-clicking on the top area over here, you're going to see service call menu, edit service call, view company, etc. And if you right-click on the icon or the line next to it, this is right-click, it's going to give us a different menu options, because this is the ticket one, not a service call one. So from here, I can add note. Let's do that, for example. Let's say that this is a client ticket that we just need to go in and check something for them, or confirm, or reset a password, whatever it is. We open the ticket notes, and we're going to be using that a lot. The title doesn't mean much because it's not going to go to the email that the client is getting. It will only show the title if the client is using the client portal to manage their emails. Currently, only 1 or 2 clients only do that, so I'm not really worried about that. Description is obviously the note that you want to send to the client. If you want to put it as part of the resolution of this ticket, we're going to talk about that as well later. And we can choose who is the notification going to go to. So in most cases, it's going to be something we don't have to check over here, because we have a rule here that the notification template that we use, note added by engineer sent to client, this will trigger already an email sent to the client. So all you have to do on those no tickets is just to put in title, because it's a must, and description, which is a must also. What you can also change is the status over here. But this notification template that we have set up over here, which you don't want to touch, that will cause the ticket, once you send out an email, a note to the client, it will automatically put the ticket in status of waiting customer. So you don't have to change that, it will change by itself. And one thing that we also focus on now and try to build this list is these quick codes, speed codes. For example, I'm going to check this on it. And this is what more or less the client is going to get. I'm saying more or less because it actually comes from a different notification template. But this is more or less what the client is going to see. And it's going to change the ticket to in progress status. Okay. So I'm going to click on, so all I did basically is click on or chose one of those, or let's say I just spoke to the client over the phone and I just want to give him some update in writing. So I'm going to choose in writing, and status change to waiting customer, so the client sees that. Hi again. As discussed, we will reset the USB blah 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 just to track it on the ticket. one of the most important things, as you know probably, is if it's not in writing, it never happened, right? We can't go 6 months down the road and say, well, you told me this, you told me that. We need to document everything in writing, so we will do that. Okay, we are sending the notification. We're going to click on Save and Close, or Save and New if you want to send another notification. One thing that we sometimes do is we can add another contact. So you want to add the manager of that client. Because this ticket is under Legal Technology Solutions, if we are the client, it's going to show us the people, the employees over here of our company that are under our account. But here is where you add employees really. So let's say you want to copy August, for example, because this ticket is related to, as discussed, we will send you prices for whatever. August is our purchasing person, our vendor person, so he might want to get a copy of that. That's when you use those boxes. Nothing needs to be changed over here on those check boxes. So click and save and close, or save and new another one, or save and forward, meaning that you're going to save this ticket and then forward it to another tick. So this will open up this window here. And I can choose to change it from Bates to Lucas, for example. We don't use work list right now. This is a feature that we maybe will start using, but right now we're not, so we're not going to train on that. If it's a different queue, those are the three queues we have: administration, help desk, and internal. And Lucas, we don't most likely ever change the queue. Description of the ticket, we can change that over here before we send it over to Lucas, and a little more information if you want to change something here. Summary, I'm going to click on save and close now, and the ticket is going to be reassigned away from me, and you're going to see that it's going to move from my schedule to Lucas's schedule, but I'm not going to save it right now for the sake of not driving Lucas crazy, because he's going to get an email about it, and it's Saturday night. I don't want to be annoying. Let's take a break right now, and we're going to continue with another video that will show you how we create a ticket for a client.